let me explain a little bit more about revised Bloom's taxonomy. So this knowledge category, which I mentioned as problematic, was divided into two dimensions, so knowledge and cognitive processes. Knowledge processes, we have four dimensions, so factual, conceptual, procedural, and metacognitive. So in factual, we have facts, some specific details, elements, terminology that is important. In conceptual, we refer to classification and categories, principle, generalizations, models, structures, theories. In procedural, usually we use some specific subject skills that includes algorithms, techniques, methods that are specific for a certain subject, but also criteria for utilization of adequate procedures. And finally, but very important, metacognitive dimension includes strategic knowledge, knowledge on cognitive tasks, including contextual knowledge, and awareness of our own knowledge or lack of it. And then so the knowledge dimension is what I mentioned, and then the second part is cognitive processes. And again, we have the 6 dimensions, so the number of categories was kept in comparison to comparing with the original Bloom taxonomy, but with some changes. And categories are no longer strictly hierarchical and can overlap. And about this hierarchy, when we said that understand is a lower level than apply, probably it's not always true in different subjects and different areas. And we can use some tools to help ourselves with the learning outcomes classifications. So learning outcomes, as I said, can be classified based on 2 dimensions. You can see in this matrix that we have cognitive processes here, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, and creating. Yeah, creating, that's right. And then a knowledge dimension here in the first column. So we can look at the different learning outcomes in different boxes here. For example, very, let's say, basic level in remembering and factual knowledge is to name geometric figures. And it is, the more complex is to group, for example, similar triangles. So it's conceptual and understanding. But even more complex is, for example, to apply the constructivist learning theory in learning design of some course in higher education. In that course, we can ask our students to self-assess an assignment based on rubrics or on certain criteria. So it's application of some framework, but it's also metacognitive because they should self-assess their knowledge, skills, or something else we are asking them for. And then this learning outcome analyze the causes and consequences of World War II, probably from history. It is factual. And for example, we can compare this with, for example, recommend an appropriate robot for a warehouse. It's much more complex in a way that it is evaluation of something, but also it is procedural, because this learning outcome on World War II can be done based on some books and some reading, but here to recommend an appropriate robot for the warehouse, you should know the exact warehouse, the procedures, protocols, but also to be aware of some possibilities to choose the robot or to program the robot or something else. Also some safety procedures. And finally, we can find here 2 learning outcomes that are related to the research project, like formulate a hypothesis for a learning theory or some other theory, and plan research design and methods. So it's rather complex one.